Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with new interim police chief Walter Ogrodnik from the Brentwood Police Department. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, and congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you.
If I may ask, kind of start like, when did you find out this is all happening?
So the appointment, the appointment process was about a 2 month process, and within the last 3 to 4 weeks, I received notification that I was being appointed by our interim city manager, Darren Gale.
You've been here for a long time. What did this moment, when you heard the news, what did the moment mean for you?
I have, in my 28th year with the city of Brentwood. It's been an amazing journey. I've been surrounded by a significant amount of support from not only our staff, but our executive leadership team, many members of the community. So it's been very flattering and excited at the same time.
In a way, you've kind of become a staple of the community from your role, the way you've worked your way up, your role as previously as captain the last several years, and then now. What's it been like for you kind of working in the city in ways to not just being from a police officer standpoint, but kind of like in a weird way, almost like the face of the department, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I've shared this story many times. In my 28th year, there's a reason why I'm here for 28 years, right? It's a great community. Again, the support from not only members of the department, but again, I'll reiterate city staff, the way we've been treated as members of the organization have been great, as well as the support that we get from our community. It's something that I always say continues to fuel my motivation to come to work every day.
For those who may not know how the job works, going from captain to interim police chief, what's the difference? I mean, I know it's a higher rank, but as far as like what differences are there in the job now?
So in the police department, we have the rank structure is 4 lieutenants, 2 captains, and the chief. We do have a group of sergeants, but at the admin level, there's a captain that oversees support services and a captain that oversees operations. And you're essentially responsible for those 2 areas of the department. Operations essentially covers everything that handles patrol-related duties. So anybody in a uniform, the hardworking men and women that are out there, the marked patrol vehicles that are patrolling our streets, as well as ancillary assignments like school resource officer, K9. There's a couple others, but that's what operations handles. And on the support services side, it's more of handling the business side of things when it comes to policy and procedures. Is something that is pretty significant because it's important that we obviously make sure that we stay current on our policies and procedures, which is something that I am going to retain as an interim police chief, as well as reviewing contracts that are prepared by our admin lieutenant. And then anything that has to do with any type of improvements around the police department that impact us operationally.
You're kind of taking pretty much a top job, essentially. For police department that's actually very involved in the community. A lot of a lot of cities, it's always the city and the police department. Here, it's really kind of all in one. I think about Citizens Academy a lot. When I think about how involved the department is with the community, from the time you've been here, how big has that relationship been?
I think that relationship has strengthened over decades because the Brentwood Police Department has always made community relations and community outreach a top priority. And as you mentioned, the Citizens Academy, that's just one component, right? We've since then have a community engagement officer where her responsibilities are to engage the community. And as we know, social media is its own platform, and it's a way where many people communicate and rely on receiving information. So we made sure that we made that a priority as well as with our community outreach. And it's something that I still, as part of my vision in taking over as interim chief, is to continue to maintain those relationships with our community, but it goes beyond that, right? I want to continue the collaboration. I want to continue the partnership. I want to continue with transparency by keeping that effective communication, open lines of communication with not only the community, but we also have our business district, right? We have our transit system that travels through our city. We have our schools, so it's important that we maintain open communication and keep school resource officers in our schools for not only that communication but also for the safety of our schools.
How would you say the community's kind of helped you grow as a police officer, now as a chief, through the last almost 3 decades? Considering how the relationship between the department and the city here, how has that helped you grow?
So as a young patrol officer, my career started with the city of Galt in Sacramento County. That was kind of my foundation. That's where my journey started, and then the opportunity presented itself here in Brentwood. And at the time, I was hired by Chief Shaw, and very inspirational person, very supportive. He had the confidence in me to hire me, and even then talked about the importance of community relations. So that's a value that I've always carried from the beginning, and made sure that this is about connecting and making relationships, whether it's with an arrestee or a citizen or a member of the community that's a victim of a crime. And it's worked out really well for me, because if things progressed, I went on from a patrol officer to be a field training officer to working in our investigations unit, eventually promoting to the rank of sergeant, a lieutenant, captain, and now here is interim chief.
You say you've been here 28 years? 28 years?
I'm in my 28th year.
28th year in Brentwood, right? You've seen this city grow. It's a very different city than it was 95, 90, 97, in the mid-late 90s, right? Compared to now. What's it been like watching this city grow from your point of view? As from a police officer, chief, captain, what's it been like watching the city grow in point of view? And how much has that actually changed the job? If it has.
Well, it's no secret that this city has grown significantly since I've been here. I was the 19th officer on the department. Fast forward in my 28th year, we're now authorized 72 officers. And again, a lot of that comes from being supported by our elected officials, making sure that we maintain, certain staffing levels to deal with some of the challenges that we face with growth, right? Well, we have always been committed as a city across all cross sections of the city to maintain positive, to deal with quality of life issues. And I'll give you an example, something that I pride myself on with another division within the city, our public works department. If our officers see graffiti, or if there's something reported on our 24/7 Direct Connect platform, that graffiti is generally cleaned up within a 24-hour period, simply because we don't want that blight to spread and grow legs and then potentially carry on to other things. And it's that type of commitment and communication that I feel keeps Brentwood such a great place to live.
You've been doing this for over 30 years, here for the last really big portion of it. What's it like? I always ask, whenever I interview an officer like this or interview someone in the police department like this, I always I get to get different perspectives. What is it like policing in 2025 compared to when you started? Like, how much would you say the profession itself has changed, and how have you had to grow? How have you had to grow with it?
It's been a little easier for me because I don't deal with some of the challenges that we face today. But there's been a lot of legislative changes that have been challenges. But the nice thing about law enforcement and the position of an officer is you're trained to be nimble, right? Trained to we send officers to legislative updates and training to stay current on certain laws and case law. And I think that's been extremely helpful. Although it's been challenging, we send staff to training to make sure that we have a clear understanding on what the law is, what the expectations are of an organization before we actually deploy our resources to go out there and do their jobs.
Would you say it helps then to have the support of the community the way you guys do compared to how other cities are with the police departments? Does that help you guys a lot more?
Absolutely, but it's equally important that when our community doesn't understand something, that we inform them, keep them informed the best we can. I think it's the best way to resolve a lot of things that we face or question.
Is there a timeline where like you get named full-time chief? Is that in the wings? Do you know if that's kind of in down the timeline for sure?
I,
Is that
well,
coming?
I can share that the city is opening a recruitment process to find
The next.
a permanent chief.
Okay. Um, what would it mean for you to kind of, if you were to be named that, if you were to get it, what would it mean for you to be able to achieve that, to get to be promoted to that position?
Well, my top priority now as interim chief
Mhm.
is to continue to support the hardworking men and women of our department, both our sworn staff as well as our professional staff. So those are our dispatchers, our records clerk. A lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes. That's my top priority, and I want to continue the collaboration, right, with our community, keep that strong relationship and partnership, and make sure that we are doing everything we can as a police department to continue to maintain and deliver the highest level of professionalism for our community. The permanent spot, I will continue to carry that, and I will continue to do my best to continue to all the supportive things that I shared. Continue that, but I'm going to rely heavily on staff to be part of the conversation on identifying areas that perhaps maybe we can improve. Traffic safety is a big one of our biggest complaints in this community. So it's my top priority to take what I've characterized as a diplomatically aggressive approach to improving traffic safety in our community, whether you drive, whether you walk, or you ride.
Interim Police Chief Walter O'Gronick, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.